This is going to be a wonderful night tonight. The damn thing just busted out of me again. Alrighty, here we go. Take two. What's going on, fellow zombies? Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? Are we emotionally screwed up and sleep deprived? Or is it the opposite in verse? It's 11:38 at night, West Coast time, Sunday the 22nd of March 2025. The zombie we regency of Rosamond, California, United States of America is here. And I got a problem, guys. There was postings happening a few days ago, or within the last 24, 48 hours. Down, coming from the tabloids. An offer made to the old President Gasbag of the United States joining a Commonwealth of England. And the Gasbag said, I'd love it. I love King Charles. So far, I don't know if this was a joke coming from King Charles of England, of the British Empire, of him wanting the United States back into his fold under his territory. If this is a joke, it's a hell of a joke to have on the United States, especially how we screwed things up in our last election here. But is it to be taken seriously enough? I got an issue over that. Me being born American, it's not just something you just don't slap a label on someone. He's made in America. Yeah, there was a lot of history being shoved down our throats, K through 12, and to the college systems. And during that time, we were taught to do the American flag, read the Declaration of Independence, if not trying to remember most of the words, or at least part of the words anyway. We the people. In order to more perfect union. But trying to be patriotic to an idea and ideology that would make us Americans. We were European colonists escaping our countries for whatever reasons into the New World. Some for conquest, some for money, some for religious conversions. Sure as hell not to be typhoid Marys. But we also escaped persecution, prosecution, being treated as second or worse third-class citizens, and not having civil wars in countries. People just wanted a fresh start in a new land. Unfortunately, the neighbors, actually the original landlords and landholders, didn't like it very much. Some did, others did not. And eventually, it's like somebody coming into your house and relegating you to a chair to sleep on, while everyone else takes the whole entire household. Oh, you get to have the chair, get to sleep on it, sit on it. Not quite sure about using a restroom, but you'll have to share with everybody else if you're allowed to do that. Food, well, it's your problem in it. No, what gets to me at this point is when I'm trying to use this kind of a analogy here, is I'm looking at the orange gas bag who is supposed to be elected as a governing leader, commander-in-chief, and his ratings are going faster than anything else, even though he's going through one or two polls that are supporting him because of what his ideology is and what he wants. And he's blackmailing people left and right. I mean, there's a lot of things happening with this president here that's making us feel we are not welcome in our own country anymore. We are not feeling like we should be or wanted to be or had been feeling. And now we're feeling this icky feeling that's being taken over one way or another, and we don't like it. But the thing is, the reactions haven't gotten around yet. At least not enough. What I'm saying is, if there had been some kind of suggestion, the media held back on it. Entertainment Tonight, I just found yesterday's postings, mentioned about it. They mentioned about it because there was a British tabloid posted it and talked about it even on their own videos, which got posted over to YouTube, which is how I found out about it. King Charles wants to have a meeting with President Trashbag. I had respect for the king. I have respect for the monarchy, but far away. I respect them as allies, trading partners. Even I like their culture. I do. It doesn't make me British. I'm an American. I'm a mutt. Meaning I've got Europe in my blood. I've got part of England. I've got part of Scotland, Ireland, and Germany in me. So yeah, I'm a mutt. But then again, we are all mutts, in a way, if we're in the United States of America. Unless, of course, we are some of those who have actually lived in, we actually had ancestors here a lot longer than the Europeans had visited, conquered, and stayed. And those people, the indigenous, had made their claim to the land earlier on. The true landlords, the true landholders, I would think. How would they just be dealing with the United States government? I don't know. That they had their own turbulent history of almost being wiped out through genocide. And I'm hoping they come back more and more. Portions of states are still having territories of the Native Americans, the tribes. How would they feel if this land switched from the manifest destiny, stuffy and brain dead Americans to jolly old England, to the Parliament, to be like Canada and Australia is, and maybe a dozen more, maybe a lot more countries that are belonging to the British Empire of sorts. They can still have their countries, but they still owe something to the Commonwealth. That's the thing was taught to us in classes is we don't do Commonwealth. We don't do ownership by any other country. We are us. We are the United States of America. We are not beholden to anybody else. We got this pride and ego crap going on in our blood and our mentality here, in our educational systems. At least before Trump and Doge got to it, and the Muska face. Yeah, you're surprised that I didn't call Mush worse names, like he's already been told, and he's threatening lawsuits left and right. I'm a guy on GR. What are you going to do? Toss me out my ear? Doesn't work that way, pal. Oh, take away what property? You want some stuffed animals? Broken down furniture? You want the roaches? Be my guest. I rent. I don't have a car. I walk, barely on 2 feet. I depend upon Social Security for my livelihood, for a roof over the damn head, for food coming in, and for paying the bills for the energy, for the water, for this. I'm doing. A lot of things I have to take, you know, I have to prioritize in my life. I'm an American struggling with what I've got. It's not much. Can you say you're a fat American? Yeah, because of genetics. I've noticed that every one of my relatives had gotten pudgier when they got older. Gravity got a hold of them, and then things happened. Maybe a few of them were lucky enough to avoid it if the genetics weren't screwed up in there. I mean, I deal with what I've got. What I don't like to have is the thought of my country who fought like hell over coming up on 249 years of existence, fighting off an empire, telling them to go fuck themselves because we couldn't be represented properly in Parliament as one of the British, shit, there's always a terminology for this. How would you view yourself in your own country? First class to second class citizen. No, we were third class. I mean, hell, you colonists are just there to provide raw materials and wealth to the British chest. Because of how many wars and how many battles did the British fight with everybody else around them. And now they had a fight with their colonists who struggled. 13 colonists. A few of them didn't sign on, but they got dragged and kicking in anyway. But we grew up. We grew up into 249 years of history, of struggle, of strife, and still doing that. We're trying to find balance, and that's getting tossed out because we have people with ego problems. They don't want balance, they want off balance. Would this be considered a jackass move of having our country officially being part of another person's empire? They call it the Commonwealth. I call it an empire, damn it. Why did my ancestors have to bleed and die? Or just bled throughout the wars and then died of old age? Why did they fight? Was it for the fun of it? It was one thing going against the British. What was it? 1776? 1812? When we finally told British England, lay off already. We told you, we gave you our Declaration of Independence, you didn't believe, and we had to fight your ass. So now, we have our country. Screwed up as it is with 50 states. But this is how we expanded. Territories into states. With little independent governors for each of them. Except for District of Columbia, which wasn't designated as a state. But hell, we held island territories across the waters. One of them, one chain, became a state. We bought more real estate from a foreign entity, which became Alaska. We still have island territories in the Caribbean waters. Are we making them states or not? But to have us part of the British Commonwealth, that doesn't settle with me. We had fought for independence, but worse than that, we fought each other for identity in 1860. We had an industrial Northern Territory versus conservative values who valued slavery. and didn't value progress, just stagnation a bit. Of course, it's going to be interpreted differently. Where Northerns were pushing the Southern states into submission. But after the truce was signed and the war ended, it never did end. All the battles ended, but the hatred that still continues to this day. The legacy trying to be buried alive because we didn't want that hatred legacy out and about, but we have it in full force right now. Now, how would they feel in their version of America, whether it be in the form of armed militias or just loudmouth sheet-carrying assholes? Those all the doodads that they have on there just to promote themselves to be the biggest assholes around and telling people that you're going to be subjugated because we assholes tell you so. We still have that problem. We never did solve the Civil War situation because we couldn't deal with the split. We couldn't deal with the other guy's problems. They wanted their slavery. They wanted anger. They wanted hatred. They wanted things the way they were. A classification system. We said, fuck them. We want the blacks freed. And we're coming. We fought each other. We fought each other. We killed each other. Our own countrymen. Didn't matter if they're blood related or not. We killed each other. Till there was no more. From 1860 to 1864. Of course, we couldn't help to get in anybody else's way or into their face. Little skirmishes here and there. More territories to be fought over and more reestablishment of the United States of America. And all that bloody history and all that insanity we put ourselves through. What the hell did we actually prove? That we were a rebellious child and we should go back to the parents and tell Daddy King, America fucked up, you were right all along? No. No. And no. England, thank you for the kind offer. As much as respect I got for your country and your people and your traditions and all your history there, lay off. And to all those Trumplicants who would like the idea of being a Commonwealth again, hey, why don't you guys go to England and live there, or go to Australia, or wherever the Commonwealth countries are? Maybe Canada will take your grimy ass out of here. This is America, asshole. This is fucking America. With a capital A. Not America. America. Capital A on it. That's how it's spelled. America. It's not spelled lowercase. It's spelled uppercase. And that's how our country is. And we have 50 stars. We have 50 stars. Well, we have 13 stripes. Our American flag. We have a pledge of allegiance to our country. We don't kowtow to any other country. If we're making trading partners, that's one thing. If we're making allies, we're doing that. We hold our independence, though. We are not beholden to some other country or another Commonwealth. Unless, of course, we're dealing with the United Nations. That's a different story altogether. Because the United Nations, if that's the biggest Commonwealth, I'd rather be belonging to these guys. I'd rather be belonging to NATO. But NATO is military. It's protection of each other. The United Nations is where one place of having countries come in to theoretically work out their issues. League of Nations didn't work. We had that. We tried that. It failed. Now we got the United Nations still struggling for its existence. Since right after World War II, back in the 1940s. Almost 80 years, guys. 80 years. Okay? 80 years since the United Nations. That's what we have. Of our country's existence, it's been 249 coming up. July 4th, it'll be 249 years. Next year, it'll be 250 years. I hope to God I live long enough to see past that one. Because I'd like to see 300 in my lifetime. But 250 is not bad either. That being said, I hope Trash Bag doesn't do this. He wants a civil war. Does he actually want a civil war? Do we actually have idiots out there who would love to be part of England? I don't think so, Scooter Boys. I don't think so.